With that, I would like to invite our esteemed speaker for the evening tonight, Sayyid Mohammedhassan Alsheraa. He comes to us from the city of Dearborn, Michigan. He spoke recently at the Ummah Convention, and he is the son of the esteemed ulama, Sayyid Basim Alsheraa from Najaf. The Sayyid tonight studies at the University of Michigan. He studies political science, and he also studies in the Hawza of Najaf and also in the Hawza of Karbala. And this is a model for each of us, because many of us have this idea that we can study in the university here, or we can go to the Hawza over there and study, and we have to pick one, and that is it. But the Sayyid here shows us that the East and the West are not as divided and are not as separate as we might think. So, with that, I ask you to please welcome the Sayyid to the podium with your loudest of salawat. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, brother Rahat, for that wonderful introduction. Thank you for all the speakers, and to all the speakers and the poems and the lovely recitations. MashaAllah, that left me emotional. The Mawla Ali John one, that was very beautiful. And the Urdu poetry by the young sister was very wonderful and remarkable. I believe this is just a step forward. And it's a progression in our society to see youth involvement. As mentioned in the beginning, that Islam's core at its essence began with the youth. When Rasulullah would say, if you come to me, come and accept my message. In that event of Da'watul Ashira, inviting the whole tribe, only that small young hand was risen by Ali ibn Abi Talib, and he said, I will be with you. Rasulullah then said, you are my Khalifa, my Wazir, and my Wasi after me. This, in its essence, Islam began with youth. It's beautiful to see 14 centuries later, it continues with youth. And inshallah ta'ala, Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad, Ya Ali, Ya Ali. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أفضل الذكر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيبي إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المظلومين المنتجبين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين أما بعد قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته والله يعصمك من الناس إن الله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوا على محمد وآل محمد صلوا على محمد. First and foremost, congratulations on this auspicious occasion. Eid al-Ghadir, Eidullah al-Akbar, Allah's greatest, grandest, biggest Eid. The Eid in which we rejuvenate our vows, the Eid in which we come and elevate our spirits by making sure that the wilayah of Ahlul Bayt continues to flow through our veins and our bloods through the generations to come. And in this Eid, my dear respected brothers and sisters, as it is recognized by not just the Imams of Ahlul Bayt, by both sides, both schools of thought, being Eidullah al-Akbar. In this Eid, there is a very brilliant mystery, and I call it brilliant, because many people today, would you believe it, haven't even heard of Eid al-Ghadir. I find it brilliant that you can manage to not know the greatest Eid. What did you do? That's really remarkable. There is a very popular media page, news page on social media called The Muslim Vibe. You guys, who here knows The Muslim Vibe? It's a very cool page. I have a lot of friends that participate in it. There was recently an article they published about Eid al-Ghadir and the importance and significance of Eid al-Ghadir. And you don't have to look far, just look in the comments. Many people are like, I've never heard of it. What is that? And their names are Abdullah, Rana, Tamar. They're Muslims, right? Never heard of that Eid. And then there are some that are stingy. Oh, another Shi'i innovation. You know, these people, they keep coming up with their things. I've never heard of that Eid before. It's very remarkable that the ignorance has reached that level. That Allah's greatest Eid is something that people, either they hear but they neglect, because if you focus too much, it'll take you down the wrong path, known as Wilayat Ahlul Bayt and some of their thoughts. or they just simply haven't been taught what Eid al-Ghadir is. And so for tonight, I would love to go over Eid al-Ghadir as seen from the Holy Quran, meaning as seen through the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we examine, as well as historical analysis, and when we examine the ayah in Surah Al-Ma'idah, being the last chapter of the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Ma'idah, a really remarkable chapter, because it has many pinnacle, key topics, points that are very valuable and wonderful. But it is the last chapter of the Holy Quran to have been revealed. And the Holy Quran wasn't revealed it was revealed chronologically, but it's not organized and compiled chronologically. Otherwise, Al-Fatiha would not be the first surah. It would be around surah number 5. The first surah would be Al-Alaq. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. And you find that in Surah Al-Ma'idah, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhar rasul, you have to stop right there. Many of us love to do tafsir at the end of the entire ayah. Every single word, there's wonderful beauties and symbols and messages and knowledge and wisdom that you can learn from every single word. So we stop with this. Ya ayyuhar rasul. Already Allah is discussing to Rasulullah, and He is describing him as, O Messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One may ask, why not Ya ayyuhan nabi? Rasulullah is a nabi, but right now Allah's talking to him from the shadow or from the lens of a rasul. Why? It indicates that there is a message that you still need to announce. Ya ayyuhar rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik. Now it's interesting to note that there are 124,000 prophets, 124,000 anbiya, nabi. Abu Dhar al-Ghufari alayhi salam, the companion and sahabi, asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, how many of them were Rasul? Because not every Nabi is a Rasul, but every Rasul is a Nabi. In Ilm al-Usul, this is called Umum, Khusus Mutlaq, for those of you inshallah who will study Hawza. That every prophet is a Nabi, but not every prophet is a Rasul. Rasulullah then said there are 313 Rasul, 124,000 Anbiya. A Rasul is one with a message. The first Rasul is whom? Not Adam. Because to who? What people does he have to give the message to? Neanderthals, developing humans, sure. But there were no people that he had to deliver a message to. He was the first Nabi. The first Rasul, according to our theology and books of hadith, was Nabiyullah Nuh, Rasulullah Noah. Nuh alayhi salam was born the year of the death of Adam. So it's interesting to note that by the time Adam lived and then died, already society expanded to the point where now Allah found it necessary to send a messenger. A messenger with a risala, that now you must obey the rules of your land, be kind and courteous and generous. These are principles that I need you to follow now. The first Rasul was Nabiullah Noah. The last Rasul was Rasulullah Khatimun Nabiyyin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah continues, Balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik. We have to study step by step. A lot of people finish the entire ayah, then do tafsir. No, step by step, there's wisdom and hikmah, I promise you. Balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik. Preach that which has been brought down to you. So whatever you're going to announce, Allah wanted it to be announced. Where else in the Holy Quran do we see this phrase, I bring down something? Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. I have brought down upon the earth a khalifa, in the incident of the angels and Nabiyullah Adam. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّهُ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. And your Lord has said to the angels, I have brought down upon the earth a khalifa. So does khilafah come from down up or up down? Khilafah comes from up down. That we can't just pick someone who needs to be the khalifa. No, Allah found it necessary. And I find it very interesting that at the beginning of mankind, when there were no humans, Allah said it's necessary for a khalifa to exist. How could it be after the death of Rasulullah, the entire ummah, it's perfectly okay, there's no khalifa and we have to pick one? Allah found it necessary that after the death of Rasulullah, a khilafah comes from up, down, not down, up, where we choose who we want to become khalifa. Rasulullah is then told, Balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik. Something was brought down to you, meaning wahi, revelation. Allah said something to you, preach it. And this is a very deadly line, very dangerous. وَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ. And if you don't, you see those 22.5 years striving, bringing Islam, spreading Islam. You see your uncle, Hamza, Sayyid al-Shuhada, who was killed and cannibalized in Uhud. You see all these tragedies. Rasulullah said, مَا أُوذِيَ نَبِيٌّ مِثْلَ مَا أُوتِيتَ. There has never been a prophet more oppressed than I have. You see all that tyranny and all that turmoil? فَمَا وَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ. Then your message is failed. What is it that you have to announce, Ya Rasulullah, that is so important that Islam depends on it? Islam, if this is not announced, is incomplete. And we know in Islam we have a few things where if you do not recognize, you're not considered Muslim. The usul of the deen. You believe in ma'ad, you believe in nabuwah, you believe in the day of judgment, you believe in Allah's justice, and etc. etc. Whatever you must announce is part of the usul of the deen. Because if usul of deen is something that we must believe in order to be Muslims, then whatever this is something that we must believe in order to be Muslims. So if you don't believe in the wilayah, and eventually we'll get into as to what it is, then I don't know how close you are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when Allah ordered you to believe in this at one point. بَلِّغْ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ وَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ. There's a very interesting line right after. وَاللَّهُ يَعْصِمُكَ مِنَ النَّاسِ. It's very interesting that sometimes we can say Wallah, Wallah I'll do this, Wallah I'll go there, Wallah I'll beat you guys in Fortnite, or we swear so much about pathetic, that was pretty funny, we swear so much about nonsense, right? We say Allah's name, Wallah this, Wallah that. Our Wallah is different than when Allah says Wallah. Wallah, when Allah says Wallah, you know it's serious. Wallahu ya'simuka min an-nas. I swear, Allah, by Allah, I will protect you from the people. What does this indicate? That are there people who will not like this message by Rasulullah? I thought all of the Sahaba were friends, they loved each other. How is that possible? The event of Ghadir, when did it happen? The 10th year after Hijrah. What did they just finish doing? Hajjatul Wada'. They all just did Hajj. Aren't they supposed to be pure and as if they were just reborn again? That indicates that this concept of adalatul Sahaba is very faulty, brothers and sisters. That all the Sahaba are just and loving one another. In theory, it's beautiful. That every single companion of Rasulullah was just, it's beautiful. In practicality, it's not true. That Allah found it necessary to say, I will protect you from the people. That there are those at the event of Ghadir who will not like this news and may conspire to do something against what Rasulullah will announce. Even though they just finished doing Hajj. Does that then show the justice of the Sahaba? No, it shows the tyranny of the Sahaba, some of them, not all of them. How many Sahaba attended that event? Books of narration will say 120,000. So 120K people were there. It's interesting and beautiful. Islam in the night of Hijrah, only a handful of Muslims. By the 10th year after Hijrah, 120 strong. Rasulullah just finished performing the Hajjatul Wada', the last and final Hajj, his first and his only Hajj. And there's this misconception that if you want to be a good Muslim, go to Hajj, go to Hajj, you must always go to Hajj. No, not necessarily. We have many of our ulama that only went to Hajj once. Some of them never went to Hajj. You know, you look at Ayatollah Sayyid Shihabuddin al-Mar'ashi al-Najafi, never went to Hajj. You look at Ayatollah Sayyid Muhsin al-Hakim, once he went to Hajj, and that was in the last few years of his life. It's not important the quality, it's important the niyyah, the quantity, it's important the quality, the intention behind you. And if you could have gone to Hajj, yet you didn't, then there is a problem there. However, it's more so about your iman and your faith. When you go to Hajj, did you benefit? Did you see it? And there's also, if I can add, another misconception that I will go to Hajj when I'm older. Brothers and sisters, two things very wrong about that. Number one, we don't know when we're going to die. You could die tomorrow, you can die right now. We don't know I wish we knew our timeline, that we can see where we're going to die so we can adjust ourselves accordingly. But we don't. Another issue is if you think you're going to save Hajj by the time you're 60, boy, you are wrong. I just came back from Hajj 4 days ago, alhamdulillah. And I am so grateful, so thankful that I was able to go now, because tawaf, let me tell you, you're going to be squeezed like orange juice. You're going to be pushed like that, but you should be thankful that if you still have your youth, go now. It's beautiful, it's nice, it exceeded my expectations, honestly. Hajj was wonderful. Some of us have this vision that it's a desert and the camels and the Kaaba, hot, heat. No, mashallah, it's progressed and advanced. However, it's a very bittersweet situation. When you go and visit the Kaaba, you are elevated spiritually. But then you go to Baqi', and then you see that not even women are allowed. So I'm sorry to say, my sisters, you cannot visit the imams in Jannatul Baqi'. It's impossible to see them. As for the brothers, you got only 5 seconds before the guard pushes you by your ear, before you are told to go and make your direction elsewhere. However, it's as bittersweet as it was, I highly recommend and suggest go now if you can. Because you need that youth, you need that energy. You can go when you're 60, it's fine. I know a man, I saw a guy with us, 102 years old, with us in Hajj, walking and doing everything. He can't perform everything by himself, so he'll do something where you can announce somebody to go on your behalf. Can you do the tawaf niyabatan anni, on my behalf, and Allah will still accept your Hajj. Can you perform the sa'i, walking between Safa and Marwa on my behalf? Can you throw the stones at the shaitan on my behalf? It's good. Allah will still accept that Hajj. But what kind of a Hajj is it where everything you do is niyabatan anni, do this on my behalf, do this on my behalf? The pleasure of Hajj is when you completed it yourself and you know that you did Hajj the same way Rasulullah did Hajj. Where when you do tawaf, you do it between the rukn and the maqam. Not outside of the maqam Ibrahim, really far away where it's super far, but less crowded. No, you do it where you need to do it. More mustahab, more powerful. Everyone here is shabab. Everyone here is youth. I don't care how many white hair you can still do it. You can do Hajj and make it complete and success. And a Hajj, inshallah, may Allah accept it and may Allah allow us to go. If we didn't go last year or the year before, we can go next year, inshallah ta'ala. Make this niyyah, make this intention. Hajj is so beautiful, and I've seen new perspectives and horizons when I went. This was my first time. Normally, I like to style my hair. I don't have any now because I had to cut it. So it's an indication that we were just there. Alhamdulillah wa shukr. May Allah grant us the blessings and the tawfiq to go, inshallah ta'ala, next year. But when you continue and look at that timeline in history, Rasulullah just finished the Hajj. He just finished it. After finishing it, coming back, he was leaving from Mecca, heading to Medina. A very interesting situation occurred here. Revelation was revealed. Ya ayyuha Rasul, and we said Rasul, and Allah described him as Rasul here. You still have a message to give. Islam wasn't complete. بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك وإن لم تفعل, and if you don't do it, then you failed in your mission. فما بلغت رسالته والله يعصمك من الناس, and the most deadly, dangerous line in the end. إن الله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين. Ya Allah, are there kuffar in attendance? They just did Hajj. Who is still there? Who has a dark heart inside of them? Well, they know that when they hear Rasulullah, see him and hear him raise the hand of a particular person, their kufr will be engulfed and they will try to conspire. Allah will not guide those people, the group of the kuffar. Inna Allah la yahdi al-qawm al-kafir. There's a group of people in attendance. O Rasulullah, I will protect you from them. Wallah, I will protect you. Wallahu ya'simuka min al-nas. Inna Allah la yahdi al-qawm al-kafirin. Just do it. This is your final message. Islam is dependent on it. Because if you don't mention it, if you don't say it, you failed in your mission. What could it be? Rasulullah reached that oasis of Ghadir Khum, where it's a body of water. There are 3 reasons, my dear respected brothers and sisters, as to why Rasulullah, or actually why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala picked this area, this land right here, to make this announcement. Many questions arise. Why wasn't it announced during the Hajjatul Wada' event? Why in this barren land? Why here? And why exactly in this particular place? How come you couldn't just wait to have gone to Medina? Rasulullah 2 months later died. And so what's going on over here? Very interesting view in that, number one, it's an oasis, body of water. So people can gather and kind of relax, more convenient for them. Number 2, that area of Ghadir Khum is between Mecca and Medina. It is between Mecca and Medina, however, it's only a few kilometers north of Mecca. So it's a lot closer to Mecca than it is to Medina. That's a very strategic area for the tribes to part ways. If you're from Thaqif, right there, then you go where you need to go. If you're from Ta'if, then you go to where you need to go. If you're from Medina, you keep going north. If you have to go back to Mecca, go back to south. It's a very strategic area for the tribe to split. It's like that fork in the road. Right there is the area. So it's as if Rasulullah wanted to show, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to show, that since we're all gathered one last final time, I have this one announcement I need to make to you. There is a third opinion, actually not even opinion, a third view, that, and I would love your attention for this, that geographically, the land of Ghadir Khum, we had a few people go. Amongst them, Ayatollah Sayyid Munir al-Khabbaz, Sheikh Hassan bin Farhan al-Maliki, Saudi Sheikh, and Sheikh Mohammedhassan, the Marja' in Najaf. They went to the land, this was years ago, and they recall the story for those of you that want to reference it. They say we went one day to that land of where supposedly the event of Ghadir Khum occurred. We all attest that there is something super unique about this geographic area. What is it? There is a natural echo that if you speak about a mile away, someone will still hear you. I find it interesting how Allah chose this piece of land to make Rasulullah, 124,000 companions, come here to make this announcement. It's as if He wants everyone to not miss this lesson. And for those, historically, that are ahead of us, Rasulullah said, call them back. And those that haven't reached the area, will wait for them to get here. What is this message, Ya Rasulullah? And if you're 120,000 people, you're not going to be walking on the same pace and traveling on the same level. Absolutely not. So He said, those that are ahead, bring them back. Those that haven't reached the area, let them, we'll wait for them. We'll just wait for them to come here. Something must be very powerful, something must be very magnanimous, something must be very dangerous that will be announced just now. Rasulullah then said, I want everybody to gather the saddles and the carpets and what you could from material to pile them up onto a mount. He then ascended the mount. On top of that mount, he made this really beautiful fundamental line. He said something very powerful. Alastu awla bikum min anfusikum. The response was, قالوا بلى. Do I not have a greater authority upon you than you do upon yourself? They said yes. And it's very interesting that this exact hadith is narrated in every single book of literature. You cannot deny this event. Why? 120,000 people witnessed it. No, he said this. No, he actually said that. 120,000 saw it. So there's no denying what he said. What they'll do is they'll come and change interpretations. No, Mawla means this. No, he actually meant that. No, it was because there was a problem between Imam Ali and Khalid bin Walid in Yemen. So he wanted to calm them down by saying, hey, Ali's my friend, by the way. So I'm going to bother you guys to make sure you stop right here in the heat. Bring all of them back. Wait for these guys. Allah says this is a very dangerous announcement just to let you know Ali's my friend. We already know that. We know way beyond. Ali's not just your friend. Ibn Amr Rasul, Nafs al-Rasul, Zawj al-Batul, whatever you, Ali is more than just a friend. Habib al-Rasul, more than that. My friend? Allahumma salli ala. And if you look at the sources of the Shia, you look at al-Istibsar, Tahdhib al-Ahkam, Man la yahdhuruhu al-Faqih, al-Kafi. This is all authentic. You look at the Sunni sources from our wonderful Sunni brothers and sisters. Ibn Majah, Abu Dawood, Nasa'i, Tirmidhi, Sahih Muslim, even Ibn Taymiyyah, the Shaykh of the Salafi school of thought, will accept this hadith. Ibn Qayyim Jawziyah. The only one that doesn't accept it with the exception of Bukhari. I don't know what his problem was. He doesn't see it as authentic. He's the only one that doesn't accept it. In his Sahih, he doesn't accept it as Sahih. In his Tarikh Bukhari, he does recognize it, yes. But in his Sahih, I don't know why he doesn't see it as Sahih. But there's no... Allah, ya Ishuma. There's no denying the event. It's absolutely no, 120 people saw it. And it's accepted widely. But the difference is the interpretation. Mawla doesn't mean this. Oh, doesn't mean that. Oh, it was because he had a problem here. Let's look at it step by step and exactly we'll figure out what went on. Rasulullah said, Alastu awla bikum min anfusikum. Do I not have a greater authority upon you than you do upon yourself? What does that exactly mean? That if I tell you to do something and you don't do it, haram on you. There's a sin on you. If I told you to do something that you don't even like to do, you still have to do it whether you like it or not. I am awla bika min nafsik. I have a greater authority upon you, more than your own mother and father. I am your sila, the connection between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hence why salah is called salah. The root word sila, connection. There's a very funny phrase. If you want to talk, if you want Allah to talk to you, read the Quran. If you want to talk to Allah, pray to Him. Allah's phone number 1-800-SALAH. And you will look at this phrase, أَلَسْتُ أَوْلَى بِكُمْ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. 120K responded, قَالُوا بَلَى. Remember the sources, Sunni and Shia. Yes, they all said yes. At that moment, there's a very fundamental, significant thing that I want you all to pay attention to. We always begin it by saying this, مَنْ كُنْتُ مَوْلَى. It's wrong. فَمَنْ كُنْتُ مَوْلَى. Why? Linguistically, in Arabic rhetoric and grammar, the fa indicates something as a continuation. You said something, right? Now you're continuing it. So when they say Mawla means this, but he already gave you Awla right here, as I have a greater authority upon you. Yes, Arabic is a very ambiguous language. Synonymity exists in Arabic. One word literally can have 1,000 meanings. Ain could mean eye, could mean kneecap, could mean city center, could mean gold, could mean many things, right? So what makes you say it doesn't mean just my friend? Because Rasulullah said, فَمَنْ كُنْتُ مَوْلَى. And so whoever I was his mawla, أَلَسْتُ أَوْلَى بِكُمْ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Highlight the awla right here. أَوْلَى بِكُمْ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. قَالُوا بَلَى فَمَنْ كُنْتُ مَوْلَى فَهَذَا عَلِيٌّ مَوْلَى. اللهم وال من والاه وعاد من عاداه وانصر من نصره واخذل من خذله. So whoever I was his mawla, this Ali is his mawla. Allah, Ya Ali, oh Allah, give the one who takes Ali as his success, give success to the one who takes Ali as my successor. Oh Allah, be an enemy to the one who takes Ali as his enemy. Oh Allah, take away the one who takes Ali ibn Abi Talib from his life. Rasulullah recited these lines. Right then and there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the last, final, closing ayah of the Holy Quran. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. اللهم صل على محمد. Today I have completed your religion and have satisfied upon you my blessings and have given you and approved to you Islam as your religion. Today your religion has been completed and perfected by the wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Mawla al-Muwahhideen, Nafs al-Rasul, Zawj al-Batul, Sayfullah al-Maslul, Asadullah al-Ghalib, Madhar al-Ajahib, Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. حيدري حيدري
غالب على كل غالب علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام صلاة.
اللهم صل على محمد. Rasulullah said, أيها الناس أَلَسْتُ أَوْلَى بِكُمْ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Beautiful part here is he said, أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ, O people. So is he talking to only Muslims or all of man and womankind? Allah in the Quran, when he begins an ayah, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ. For example, اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم. It's a general phrase. O people, worship your Lord who created you. The talk is not directed to only Islam and Muslims. It's obvious. O people, worship your Lord, the one who created you. I'm not going to force zakat if you're not Muslim, or salah if you're not, our type of salah if you're not, no. O people, worship your Lord, the one who created you. And then Allah may say, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. There you go. Now it's talking to the Muslims. O you who believe. Ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah. Okay, that makes more sense. Sabr, salah, more concepts that Islam is more focused on. That وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. That we must pray, we must enjoin patience. A Muslim characteristic right here. And then Allah may say, Ya ayyuhal kafirun, O disbelievers. Whenever Allah says or begins an ayah, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, this is not exclusive to just non-Muslims, but also Muslims. Because Ya ayyuhan nas, For example, اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم is also a message to Muslims. Oh, you people, worship your Lord, the one who created you. Sometimes we need to be reminded. Don't we need to be reminded from time to time? But the direction is towards non-Muslims here. I find it beautiful that Rasulullah said, Ya ayyuhan nas. Remember, every source except Bukhari will mention, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people. Alastu awla bikum min anfusikum. They all said, Bala, yes, Rasulullah. Faman kuntu mawla, fahada aliyun mawla. Ali ibn Abi Talib is not a Muslim thing only. He's not exclusive to Islam, which is I'm not surprised. I see Christians believing in Imam Ali more than they believe in their own faith sometimes. Khalil Gibran, a Lebanese Christian, said something very beautiful. And I'll conclude with this, inshallah. I don't want to take too much of your time. He said, one day, Ibn Abbas was approached by Amir al-Mu'mineen, and Imam Ali alayhi salam said to him, he said, Ya Ibn Abbas, what is the value of this sandal that I am wearing? Ibn Abbas said, nothing. The sandal has no value. Imam Ali then said, this is the value of the Khilafah to me. This Khilafah is worthless to me. The sandal is more valuable to me than this Khilafah. Khalil Gibran responds to Ibn Abbas, Lebanese Christian. He says, I disagree with Ibn Abbas 100%. Why? How could you say the sandal of Imam Ali has no value? This is the sandal of Amir al-Mu'mineen, the Khalifa of Allah, not a Muslim. How dare you say it has no value? The crown of King Louis with all its gems is less valuable than the sandal of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ya Ali. And I am not surprised when I do see non-Muslims adore Imam Ali, love Imam Ali, and some people came and actually began worshipping Imam Ali. Only him. The Imam Ali was the only person where people said, you are God. Rasulullah would then say, Ya Ali, I fear that if I keep praising you, people will begin worshipping you like they began worshipping Jesus, son of Mary. That too much merits from this man are just going and flowing everywhere, that 14 centuries later we can't fathom this man. This man, the epitome, the peak of eloquence, the greatest, the grandest, the second greatest creation of all of man and womankind. Ali ibn Abi Talib, salamullahi alayhi. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi. كل عام وأنتم بخير وأسعد الله أيامكم. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us on this day, the greatest Eid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take some time and congratulate your brothers and sisters. If you have a problem, push it to the side. If you have an issue, just forget about it for today. And if you can, for the next 3 days. Eid, we want to continue with the love and the passion and compassion, not just for one night, so continue it for 3 days. I remember Ramadan on the Laylatul Qadr. There was a brother that was going through a divorce and he had his court case on Laylatul Qadr. I was like, bro, just why on that day? Of all days, you couldn't pick a better day than Laylatul Qadr. You pushed it and you couldn't focus more on these events and these programs and rejuvenate your vows because they only happen once a year. Take the opportunity, take advantage of them, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Lead everybody in dua. Lead everybody in dua.
اوكي اللهم صل على راحت دعاء إمام الحجة إن شاء الله. قبلة right here. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصل اللهم على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Brothers and sisters, I was informed that we were going to open the floor for Q&A for just a couple minutes. If you guys find that necessary, inshallah, we could do that. If you would like, we can get the questions. Just raise your hands, and we can do that. If not, then we can conclude, no problem. So let's give a salawat and to continue to that, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. If anybody has any comments or questions that you guys would like to ask, please feel free, related to the discussion, to the topic. If not, mashallah, you guys are all ulama. Oh, yes, Brother Umar Farouk, right? Farouk, yes. Good to see you. Alaikum assalam. Yeah, definitely. There's no denying if it says in the Quran that, you know, O Prophet, preach what has been prescribed upon you. No one can argue that. But the difference of opinion comes with the tafsir and the interpretation. And so you'll have, let's say, Ibn Kathir, a very renowned Sunni exegesis tafsir, who'll come and he'll analyze this and he'll say, yeah, indeed, Islam needed to be completed at one point. But he'll list different views, that it may have been this, but it also could have been in order to satisfy the quarrel that was going on between Imam Ali and, let's say, Khalid bin Walid. There's no, of course, he'll recognize the event, and so he'll leave the floor for options as far as Sunni interpretations are concerned. Now, I don't want to make the stigma that our Sunni brothers and sisters don't accept. No, of course, a lot of them accept. I mean, I look at our Sufi brothers and sisters. This is a very popular Eid for them as well. It's just that you'll find splinter groups here and there that'll completely cancel it, you know. Don't even call it Eid. The interpretation is that no, Rasulullah was there, Imam Ali, his hand was risen. You could call it Eid. However, it's not the catalyst for Imam per se, you know. This is where we come with our view that yes, if Rasulullah is awla bika min nafsik, then Ali becomes awla bika min nafsik. Who are you then to start an election and vote a new Khalifa? This is awla bika min nafsik right here. So that's our interpretation from the Shia school of thought. In the Sunni, the respected Sunni school is that, yeah, Imam Ali was honored that day. It's probably not necessarily the catalyst to the concept of imamah because of this other concept of adalatul sahaba, that the companions were all just. And so if they're just, what they do after the death of the Prophet is justified. And so then there needs to be that discussion of this concept of the justice of Sahaba and where our stance is with it and where our dear Sunni brothers and sisters stance is with it, and so on and so forth. But as far as the event when it comes to the tafsir, Ya ayyuha Rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayk, and then the other ayah in Surah Al-Ma'idah, Al-Yawm akmaltu lakum dinakum, it's all accepted, not necessarily the catalyst to imamah is accepted. That's pretty much all it is. But alhamdulillah, we're united more than we are divided within that context. I hope that a little made some sense, inshallah, yes.
What is your experience balancing your studies in university with Hawza?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've all read the ayah, لإلاف قريش رحلة الشتاء والصيف. So during the winter, I'm here, and during the summer, I go back to, I do رحلة الشتاء والصيف with that. It's basically when I'm off, I go to Iraq. I began my seminar studies in Karbala 2015, but and I don't think you have to go to Iraq necessarily to study Islam. You can study Islam here. We have wonderful institutes, and you don't even need to go to a class. You know, YouTube, mashallah, Ayatollah, Google, what have you, and but where we're based in Dearborn, alhamdulillah, we have seminaries there. I think it's because we're too lucky. We have a lot of a big Muslim population. Dearborn, I mean, it's like Arab land. The stop signs, some of them will say, off, stop. So where am I? It's very popular. Not in Dearborn, but you go to like Dick's. I mean, Farouk, I think you would know. It's more cultural. It's more, the Yemeni community is very proud there, and they gave them a lot of leeway to do whatever they want. They have adhan playing, you know. So there we have seminaries. English, Arabic. I'm studying right now under my father in his seminary, Hawzat al-Najaf al-Ashraf fi America Shumaliya. That's been since like 2011. So I don't think you have to go to the houses. You can bring the houses to you. You can study. There are many self-taught people based in the States. At the end of the day, there's no excuse. And you can definitely balance university. I have one more year until I'm done with political science. That's not an excuse. I'm busy studying college. Well, okay, who cares? You can still get married and go to Hajj and study Hajj at the same time. It's not an obstacle. In fact, it should be something that should project you to learn more. You're studying university here. Why not combine faith at the same time? Imam Ali would say, "Al-ilmu ilman, ilmu al-abdan wa ilmu al-adyan." That knowledge is two types: knowledge of the faith and theology, and knowledge of the body, anatomy, medicine. Knowledge is not just exclusive to faith. Many people, that's all they dedicate their life to, which is great. But don't neglect all this other wonderful wisdom that Allah has showered us upon with. Study it. You can only think, Imam Mahdi, Ajjalallahu ta'ala, when he comes out, is he going to only look for ulama? Well, he wants doctors, he'll want engineers, he'll want, social workers, gatherers, physicists, he'll want more of these fields and these expertise. Definitely, I can only imagine that. So there's no excuse. I believe you can definitely balance, Islamic studies and academic studies, and you can combine them. You can study academic studies while studying Islamic studies. So you can go to school and you can take an Islamic course. What's wrong with that? Does it have to be housed in Najaf? No, not necessarily. But it's always good if you can do both at the same time. Yes?
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I don't see myself 5 minutes from now. Inshallah, hopefully around wonderful communities such as yours, being able to participate in events like I did recently with Ummah, completing my studies. And I know you're waiting to hear getting married, but that's not right now on my list. But just inshallah, hopefully, if Allah gives us tawfiq, a healthy life and a successful one, spreading the message of Muhammad and al-Muhammad.
Let's recite a loud salawat for his
Is it what? Yeah, you have to go once, yeah. If you don't go because you can't physically, like you financially could not have done it, it's fine. Allah will be like, okay, I'll forget it that time. You couldn't do it physically. But if you could have gone and you didn't go, when you had the chance, that will be questionable on the Day of Judgment. Why? Allah, I had school. Oh, school's an excuse. School is an excuse. It is. It's school. If you skip school, you might need to retake the classes, you'll be late. We believe haqqul insan awla min haqqullah, that the right of the human is greater than the right of God. And this may sound controversial, but it is. For example, if you are praying and the house is on fire, no, I'm going to keep praying. Allah wants me to. Run away. You have to live. Forget prayer. It actually becomes wajib to break the prayer and go away. You have to leave. Or if you see your child about to get electrocuted. Like I remember a long time ago, a cousin of mine, I was little, but I saw all transpire happen in front of me. My aunt was praying, and my cousin was, crawling, still a baby, and he put his finger in the outlet. This was in Lebanon. I'm from Iraq originally, but we went to Lebanon, then we came to the great US of A. He put his finger in the outlet, and he got zapped. You could see his hairs, everything. She was praying, she just forgot the salah, came and got him. That attitude of haqqullah needs to be fulfilled. Allah wants you to, take care of yourself first of all. If you see a reason to not go to Hajj because of a good excuse, don't go. Fulfill what you have to fulfill. Don't pray if you're literally in threat and danger. But don't make this a habit. Oh, I can't go to Hajj this year because I have a football game. That's not an excuse. Oh man, that game that I was waiting for, that I pre-ordered, it comes in August, and August is Hajj. Ya Allah, you'll understand, right? No. Serious excuses. Very beautiful question. Thank you so much. Any others? Please ask now, please, if you want. Yes, Hajj.
In the next Ummah convention, inshallah, they're introducing a crash course for the youth between the middle and the high school. And I want you to help us
Ya Allah.
create a program
Inshallah, okay.
for those 2 days.
I'm at your service.
Morning.
Inshallah, I am at your service. It's my pleasure. My flight is tomorrow. What's it? 2 o'clock. What? No, not 2. I arrive 2:50. But if any other time, I am more than happy to come by and be at your service. This Muharram I'll be reciting in New Jersey. But anytime after that, inshallah, more than happy. I'd come back. I hope I didn't bore you guys. Inshallah, I'll be more than, yeah, definitely a crash course, programs, events. I think we need more initiatives like this. Definitely we do need more. That youth-orientated focus is very much demanded and required. And so I commend that idea. And if I can be a part of it, indeed. But I believe we have many bright and beautiful, smart faces here. Emphasis on the beautiful with Brother Rahaz right here. You have many opportunities, many people here. We can completely build something nice and successful. Inshallah ta'ala. And if I can be any any source,
My request to you
I'm
if you
inshallah.
start developing the program now for them.
Okay, inshallah. Definitely we'll connect and contact each other, and I'll more than happy come by, more than happily, inshallah ta'ala. My pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity, inshallah. Any other comments or questions? Any other? MashaAllah, you guys are all ulama. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. No, thank you again. MashaAllah.